Oh, hello, everyone. Welcome to NDISCO'S Village Meeting Podcast. And your host today is Dr. Maslin and M.OPARAOJI. This is our episode 21, series 2. Welcome to the month of May, the merry month of May. And I propose that we face the month with all aspects of positive force and get the best out of it. It may not be smooth all the way, but we can meet the challenges and overcome them as well. So I wish you the best. Now, this May, we're starting on another aspect of our society and culture, um, that we have impact on. And this is about Africans in diaspora, especially our hyphenated Africans that reside all over the world in diaspora, all the continents, including those at the homes or the homestead. So when we talk about that, I am mostly focusing on women and children, especially the young adults. It doesn't mean that we talk about men. We do double into that, and we may add that as we go on. But I'm hoping that some other people will also look into that aspect. Nothing is ruled out. They are part of our African society and culture, no doubt. There's a whole lot to talk about, a whole lot of things going on. And again, our focus is on um, the medical care, our way of life, our methods of dressing, our food, the jokes we crack, and much more. How do we build ourselves, whether we are at home or thousands and thousands away, far from home? And those places also we call home because some of them have become part of us, of our environment, of our home, especially those that were born outside of the continent of Africa. So today we are going to dabble into some areas that I have kept for a long time. The questions. Some of you who know me close know that I mentor the young adults a whole lot as well as younger women. Um, but there are so many questions that they ask. Some of them I have no answers to because I'm not an expert in everything. And they come to me sometimes, skipping their parents. It's not that they don't love their parents. Sometimes you want to talk to somebody else. And I encourage mine to do that. There are certain things they don't want to come to their parents for. And I would recommend that they do. I do recommend that they do. And sometimes our discussions, revert back to parents because they have a right to know. But maybe the approach or everything, I don't judge them like some of them. No, I listen and ask lots of questions. So, but then they turn around and ask me lots of questions, some of which I have to go in and look into and come back to them. So this one is one of them that come from our young proteges, our young hyphenated ones, who, and today we're focusing on the country of Nigeria in the continent of Africa. These are young ones who are now professionals. They're making their money in whatever country they find themselves as part of. And they, maybe through their parents talking to them or reminding them, they want to also uh, invest in the country of their ancestry or of their ancestors. There's nothing bad in that. Just as they also invest in the country where they are a resident of or where they are born. Some of them, for example, Nigerian Americans, they invest a lot in America. Those of them in Britain, hyphenated, do also that. Canada, you name it. But they also want to invest in what they call the motherland, what we call the motherland, and that's nothing bad in that. So let's get started. This one, they always ask, we have some money that we are saving. We're not going to be like you, the parents who you keep helping everybody on earth, on the other side of the ocean, forgetting yourself that you get retired. You get retirement and you get to the age of retirement. And we see what they are saying, that is the truth. So, in as much as we encourage them to be kind and to give to those who do not have, again back home, it's a gesture that is inherent in us as people who believe in family and extended family. But I think they watch their parents overdo sometimes, and their parents get burnt. So they are deciding, okay, we are making this money and hard. We're working so hard. We want to invest so that we don't have to be like some of you guys at old age. So um, so we encourage them. So this episode is the part one of, I think it will come up to two parts, where they can invest their money safely. Um, Again, I had to do some research because I am not an investor. I am not like professionally. I'm not an accountant. I'm not anything or investment banker. I just go with the knowledge. I went in and compared ideas and suggestions from several brokers, several business people, the trends and the schools of thought. And so that is what I'm sharing. Okay. I am going to tell you that please, if you go through this and decide to invest, please, these are just suggestions. You cannot hold me at ransom that I give you such advice. I'm not advising, I'm suggesting, and I'm sharing with you information. No time am I asking you to go invest in any or none. So let's get that straight. So let's get started. Um, the first, we are going to look at 7 investment options that these young ones you could consider. There is agriculture and agro technology, and I add risk levels to those so that when and if anybody wants to venture into that, they will see at a glance. And this is not by me because I may not have invested or all of them or any of them, but this is what I am getting from those who are giving their reports or sharing their thoughts on this. The risk level for that is medium to high because they have shared with us that farming is unpredictable. The other one is real estate development in emerging cities. We can all agree that some of our cities are saturated. So some people now are expanding into areas that were never even touched, virgin areas. So in whatever, excuse me, state or part of the areas or environment you are in, you can, see if things, there are lands that you could expand into. We have healthcare, and for that real estate development, it's ranked as medium for risk level. Um, it's volatile, and we'll talk more about that. Healthcare, that's a big one. They're saying that it's medium to high risk level. We'll again look into that. Renewable energy, the risk level is medium to high due to bureaucracies. Okay. So these are not labeled or numbered in order of importance, but I think these are the first 7 that really are giving returns on investment because of the meaningful nature and the need in the country. Renewable energy, again, I talked about that already. Infrastructure development, the risk level there is medium to high because of bureaucracies again. Tourism and hospitality, that has a low to medium risk level, and technology and startups. the risk level here is also medium. So what do we mean by any of these? How do we get into any of these? What are the pros and cons, if there are any, in any of these beyond the risk level? So let's look at agriculture first of all and agrotech. And I compared a lot of people who gave suggestions and who gave ideas or who shared their thoughts. Again, we are in the information superhighway where there's an overload of information. So it takes time to sieve through this and collect the summaries that most of them have. So I am going to quote to you two, of the schools of thought, what they think. So one of them said, agriculture remains a vital part of Nigeria's economy, contributing more than 25% to the country's GDP. The government's push for self-sufficiency in food production combined with innovations in agro-tech is transforming the sector. So you and I know, without even being told, that any country that doesn't have enough food is doomed to start with, because that's the basic need, and that's the basic need that could be, helped if people put their minds to it. The other said, and I quote, the country's agricultural sector is also ripe for investment in livestock production. So it's not just farming on land, we have the livestock with opportunities in poultry, cattle, and other livestock. Furthermore, investors can explore agro-processing, investing in processing and value addition to agricultural products, such as flour milling, oil refining, and fruit processing. And, if you go back into the literature now, you'll find that a lot of people are delving into more of this. Those of you who come to my Facebook page, you see me share how people are now cultivating cassava in a different style, or even make a whole commercial drinks from the roots of zobo or the leaves of zobo, which is normally a local plant. And people are thinking now, what I call thinking outside the box, so to speak. So when we talk about agriculture, we must realize that Nigeria has vast arable land and a growing demand for food, making agriculture an attractive investment opportunity. So there you have it. Investors can explore crop production. Apart from what I have mentioned before, investing in crops such as cassava, maize, soybeans, you name it, which are in high demand locally and internationally. We could take a leaf from Burkina Faso. Uh, they have now started, doing tomatoes in a huge way at a higher level of being self-sufficient in that. So this is what some countries are looking forward to. So investing in such aspects, I think it's going to be profitable in many people's opinion. Nigeria, we also remember or realize, remains the world's largest producer of cassava with an annual output of over 60 million metric tons. Imagine that. In addition, rice production has surged to 8 million metric tons, making Nigeria the second largest producer in Africa. But no matter how much we produce, in a country of 250 plus million inhabitants or people, we need more. And investing in such, consumption, I bet will be fruitful. The agricultural sector, we have to understand, grew by 3.2% in the second quarter of 2024. Just imagine that. And this is driven by improved farming techniques, mechanization, and government support. There are several genuine agri-tech platforms to help connect investors with the farming operation. So in case you guys who are asking these questions want to invest, there are so many outlets that can help you do that. And some of them even offer returns as high as 25% annually. That's huge. So investments in agriculture, you know, particularly in, for example, export crops like cocoa or cacao, like some people will call it, have proven profitable, with Nigeria earning over $700 million, not naira, from cocoa exports in 2024. Agriculture continues to offer strong returns, especially for those leveraging modern farming technology and export-oriented initiatives. So I share some of these a whole lot. Um, the last time I shared someone who started from one building and expanded their agricultural outfit into training facility or centers for people to come and learn how to do mechanical agricultural practices. So it's getting huge, it's getting bigger there. It doesn't take away from local. Those who don't have, the machinations for that could also do the old-fashioned way and also be able to produce. There are people who still need jobs out there who can engage in farming and help produce a lot of food. Okay, so that is agriculture. Let's go to the next investment opportunity that people have talked about: real estate development, especially in emerging cities, like I talked about. So this is a volatile world because the prices of building materials keep going up and down, and sometimes it halts production or work on in these areas due to inflation. But hey, it's a needed area to be developed. So again, I took two out of the best of um, schools of thought out there to share. And I quote, the first one says, Nigeria's growing population and urbanization drive demand for housing and commercial space, making real estate a lucrative investment opportunity. Investors can explore residential development, investing in the development of residential properties such as apartments, houses, and estates. End quote. And there's another thought. It says, and I quote again, real estate now contributes 6.43% to Nigeria's GDP, up from 5.92% in 2023. That is fast growing, making it one of the most reliable sectors for investors. Affordable housing projects, especially in secondary cities, are offering rental yields of 8% to 12%, while returns on investment in newly developed areas can reach up to 30% annually. End quote. So these are huge. So um, again, we knew, we just saw the trend going from homes to building apartments for people to live in, and now not only hotels, we are going into this other aspects where people now can live in a hall. I forgot what it's called now, but it will come to me, where people now buy homes and rent out to for people to live in as hotels. And this Nigeria's rapid urbanization, with a rate of 52.75%, according to some schools of thought in there, in 2024, has led to soaring demand for housing and commercial real estate. So while Lagos and Abuja remain prime real estate markets, there are emerging cities like Ibadan, Uyo, Owerri is a big one, Abeokuta, Calabar, you name them. Every city, Enugu, and these are all spreading out there. And people are beginning to go inward into the more of the rural areas than it used to be. Okay, so but also commercial development is a viable option, with opportunities in the development of office buildings, shopping malls, warehouses. We see those happening again and again. Um, Additionally, we have investors who explore property management, which can provide a steady income stream so that people are sharing that. With government incentives focused on infrastructure development, real estate investments, particularly in affordable housing and smart city projects, are proving highly profitable. So the new development I was thinking about that I almost forgot was Airbnb. Airbnb is now really a big boost out there that people are making a lot of money out of that. So again, the real estate development aspect is huge if you are an investor. We talk about healthcare. Again, they rated this as low to medium. Again, the school of thought is sharing with us that Nigeria's healthcare sector is underdeveloped, with opportunities for investment in infrastructure, equipment, and personnel. Investors, so these young ones, you can invest in healthcare, hospital development, operations, including specialized hospitals such as cardiology, oncology centers, and all that. Clinic development is also a viable option with opportunities in clinical development and operations, including primary care clinics, specialized clinics, and diagnostic centers. Unquote. So this is somebody's thought. And I thought it made sense. Why? Because like the rest of the world, the population is growing older and in some cases healthier. But in third world countries, we need to make sure that the percentage is getting a little bit higher than it has been. One area that people are beginning to also invest in is building old people's home. For most of the Nigerians, whether at home or abroad, are having aged parents who are living a little bit longer, and there is no way to take care of them than even getting people to come to the homes to take care of them is getting difficult. People, many do not do that anymore. So people are now beginning to even build old people's home where their parents are taken care of while they do the things they have to do. So those are thoughts. Investors can also explore medical equipment and supplies, invested in medical equipment manufacturing, such as hospital beds, medical imaging equipment, surgical instruments, you name it. Medical supplies distribution is also a viable option, with opportunities in distributing pharmaceuticals, medical consumables, hospital supplies, you name it. This is an area where our young professionals who are in the medical field need to really think outside of the box. What can you do? The little you can do. The villages or the communities don't even have good beds. Most of the patients sleep on the floor. So, but there are things that can be done that are not going to be expensive to help the medical practitioners do the best they can with these patients. And because of the lack of these amenities that we talk about, a lot of people die from, situations where there shouldn't have been. Oxygen, for example, little oxygen tanks can be, made modified to tailor the way of living of the Africans. So that's that for that. Let's explore another one. Renewable energy. Risk level here is medium to high, again because of bureaucracies. And someone says it. Nigeria's persistent energy deficit, with over 40,000 of the population still lacking access to reliable electricity, presents a significant opportunity for renewable energy investments. Unquote. And another had the same thought, saying Nigeria aims to increase renewable energy's share of the energy mix. making it an attractive investment opportunity. Investors can explore solar energy, investing in solar panel manufacturing, installation, and maintenance. Now, that's an area where a lot of people are getting into, but still it's not enough. Um, we all know that the lack of electricity in Nigeria has caused a lot of headaches. The use of generators for years have taken their tolls, either in deaths of so many for ignorance in usage, the lack of um, fuel or petrol, like some, we call it back home, to get these generators to work. And many have not thought deeper into having ones that won't work without this fuel or petrol. So now the advent of solar energy, it's really one that many are looking forward to, but they are very expensive for people. So what do we do? But we all know that when the bureaucracies are cut and people are able to invest, think about it and compare it to when we had to go to a booth to call long distance. All of a sudden, the market was flooded with hand devices, phones you can call. So now you can call your grandmother sleeping on her mud bed in a thatched house in the village. If we can achieve that, why can't we achieve renewable energy for everyone? So that is the question. So we also have wind energy, which is also a viable option, with opportunities in wind turbine manufacturing, installation, and maintenance. So furthermore, investors, these young ones, you can explore hydroelectric power as well, invested in like hydroelectric power plant development and operations, especially where you have water, bodies of water that are deep enough to carry this. So we have some of that in some cities or areas or rural or urban in Nigeria that we can leverage this aspect of renewable energy. So, so we all know that. And solar energy and mini grid solutions have emerged, we know, as critical drivers of growth in the energy sector, with installations growing from 45% or by 45% in 2024 alone. So can you imagine now if we go do the statistics or look into the statistics for 2025 that people are still putting together? I couldn't find that. But one thing that we have to take away is that the renewable energy market is expected to attract $10 billion, 10 B with a B, $billion, not Naira, in investments by 2030, by the year 2030, as the demand for off-grid power solutions continues to arise or to rise. So this is a given. If you can't invest anywhere else, do so in renewable if you want to. Next is the infrastructure development. Again, bureaucracies hammer on this and sit on it like plague. It's medium to high. Again, a school of thought shared that Nigeria's infrastructure gap is significant, with opportunities for investment in the following: transportation, energy, and water. We all have seen, and quote, we all have seen some investors big. We witnessed when ABC transport system um, son of the soil of Mbise Nation, started that transportation that got people from one end of the state to another, and it ran for a long time. So it's Chidiebere and some other ones. And now we have like airpeace picking up, especially in a country like Nigeria that doesn't have its own central airline. This is an area where people can come together, collectively invest, and get some of this happening. Imagine how much we spend at the end of each year when people travel back and forth, or even in the media, yeah, how much is spent on people who have carriers, airline carriers, for example, from other countries. And even in Nigeria, we don't have trains that function most of the places. Just imagine that people come together, invest, and have transport, have running water that people don't have to go far away to fetch, that can run even in their kitchens. It's doable. These are all doable. So investors can explore road construction as well, invested in road construction and maintenance. So we now have Julius Berger and the rest of them, even Chinese ones coming into the country now to do this, where we have capable engineers all over the world. The funny thing is that Nigeria has, the brain power that are the best all over the world, but we cannot find ourselves to get together and bring this back home. They are willing to do that. The young professionals are willing to do that. The country is not giving them that hee-haw. They really need that green light to say, come on, we can cut the bureaucracies. We will make safe investments for you. We will look out. Bring your brain home and help us develop. And that is exactly what is happening in Burkina Faso. A young man there bringing everybody together and say, hey, we know we have this. How do we do this? And they are progressing. Bridge construction is also a viable option with opportunities in bridge construction and maintenance. Every time we hear this bridge is collapsed over here and there, just imagine that the bridge that joins for example, Lagos, that long bridge that joins the island and the mainland, that something happens, a whole of Lagos and even Nigeria will come to a standstill. Why? Because we don't think outside the box to build a secondary bridge or another one to sustain that. So this is just the thought. Investment can come in when people think more about what is going on. The sixth one is tourism and hospitality. Again, this is low to medium, and people are really going out on this to do whatever they can do to make it happen. And one school of thought says Nigeria's tourism sector is underdeveloped, which is true, with opportunities for investment in infrastructure, services, and marketing. We see that going on. Again, we investors can explore so many aspects of this. Recently, tourism industry and hospitality has taken or have actually taken a leap in response to the period termed Dirty December. Again, some of you, when we hear Dirty December, actually it's coined from the word dirty. And it's funny now in Wikipedia, it's a term in there. And what does that mean? It's that it refers to the festive period at the end of the year in Nigeria, typically from mid-December through the New Year and maybe early January, a time of vibrant celebrations, social gatherings, parties, you name it. Festivities characterized by high energy, excitement, optimism. It's a time when many Nigerians, both within the country and in diaspora, return home to celebrate with family and friends. So the last one, and this started, I think about 2023 to now, that this word started resounding. And what does that mean? It means people are having fun with it, that it's going to grow. I can't imagine what will happen 2025 come 30 December. So what does that mean? It translates to we need more fun places. We need more hotels. We need better streets. We need good roads. We need transportation, you name it. And this is how people build economy, big economy on tourism. Where do better way to invest than into invest in all this? Okay. Our investors can explore hotel development, investing in hotel development and operations. I mentioned Airbnb the other time. People are going all the way to do that. Restaurant development is also a viable So people build resort. Um, I remember when we used to have a resort in Calabar, which is now being revived. There, in Imo State, we used to have also somewhere where we had resorts. In Enugu, they have that. Even in Plateau, there used to be one, I think, in Benue, that people can rebuild and get people to come. And there's several in Lagos now that are being done. So we need all these the resorts to keep building in almost every corner. In Imo State, where I come from, there are huge opportunities, places where these resorts can be done. Furthermore, investors can explore tour operations. It's funny when you come into the country that you don't know. People would like to get on a bus and go from point A to point B, like we do. You go to New York or any other town, Los Angeles or anywhere, or Toronto, Canada, or even London. You hop on the bus and it takes you to places that you will see. And I'm coming back. These are money that are coming into people's hands, and these are coming into investors' hands. So all these tour operations, invested in guiding tours, transportation, and travel services, um, again, will be one that will help and in situations like the Dirty December. Okay. The last but not the least is the technology and startups. The risk level they tell us is medium. Against one of the schools of thought says Nigeria's tech sector is growing rapidly with opportunities for innovation and disruption. Investors can explore venture capital, investing in startups and early stage companies in Nigeria's tech ecosystem. End quote. Okay. So there are many investing viable options within Nigeria with opportunities to invest in startups, early stage companies. Additionally, investors can explore startup incubation, and those that are also serve as accelerators, those who, quicken what is already there. We see it in all parts of the world when, the young ones put their heads together to start something, they are bought immediately and somebody hops on that. That is the norm over the world. And resources come from there to early stage companies. So what we are advocating for here is um, think about it. There are so many ways, and these are 7 out of, I still have the part 2. There are other investment opportunities in other areas that I will have to mention in part 2. But before you go deep into this, another disclaimer is I'm not an expert on any of this, but I am encouraging you. It's something that you have mentioned because you've seen, again, going back to what your parents are going through. Some of them are dying, without a penny after they retire because of lack of investment or bad investments. So we're asking you to be aware and beware of risks and challenges to invest in anywhere in the world, including in Nigeria. Somebody said, while Nigeria and the world offers numerous investment opportunities, there are risks and challenges to consider. Economic risks include economic instability, inflation, exchange rate fluctuations, and that's not just in Nigeria, everywhere. Political risks include political instability, yes, corruption, yes, and policy changes. Things are changing every day. There are regulatory risks, including regulatory uncertainty, bureaucratic red tapes, and inconsistent enforcement. This is just a short list of what is a longer list somewhere else. So, hack into that and listen. Beware of who you are doing business with. That is paramount. Whether it's an agency, a broker, a representative, you name it. Know, investigate, and be very sure before you engage. Monitoring consistency should be an intricate part of your investment portfolio. Okay. I can say this again, that you have to make sure that you are aware of the dangers. So, in conclusion, for you, the young, eager Nigerian investors, you asked me, Auntie, and not just one, not two, there are many of them. I know you have money burning in your pockets. Don't let them sit in the banks. Okay, they don't fetch you maybe 10. Yeah, it's risky to venture out. But one good thing is that age is on your side. You start early. So one person in this conclusion is, Emanuela Eze, who has, if you go Google her in the, will say that she can help in some of these aspects, or she has ideas. But I like her way of thinking. She says to unlock Nigeria's investment potential, savvy investors must be willing to take calculated risks, conduct thorough research, and develop robust business plans. Some of my young ones know that whenever they ask me for A or B or ask for my advice, what the first thing I say is, show me your business plan. And they're like, show me your business plan. We cannot do anything without that. Nobody will invest in you, giving you million naira or anything like it used to be before. The question is, what have you started doing? Where are you now at, so that we can help you, go over the challenge? Nobody will give you anything to start with anymore, the way, people have been burnt. No, it's what have you started, so that you could be helped a little bit. So by doing so, investors can mitigate the risks associated with investing in Nigeria and reap the rewards of investing in one of Africa's most promising economies. And Nigeria is one. No matter what they call us, no matter what the bad names, Nigeria is still an economy to be reckoned with. As Nigeria continues to grow and develop, Emanuela continued, the country is poised to become a major player in the global economy with its vast natural resources, growing population, and resilient economy. And may I add also young population inside and outside of Nigeria. Nigeria offers a unique opportunity to investors to tap into the country's vast potential and contribute to its economic growth and development, unquote. And I agree totally with Emanuela. Yes, we have fallen from a height where we used to be, where we used to call Nigeria elephant of Africa. Other countries now smaller are taking the lead, but I know bad leadership is killing us, and our economy is suffering for that, and corruption. We got everything that anybody can think of. If we can really put a little bit blanket on all those, we could soar, and our children will be better for that. So, in conclusion, again, I continue, and this is my final word for my proteges, those who have continued to ask me that question. What I'm going to leave you with is, apart from what I have already shared, is to remind you that you don't need millions of naira or dollars or pounds or euros to begin to invest. You can start with as little as 1,000 naira, even if you are at the homestead. Learn as you go and grow your confidence and portfolio over time. You can make it. It's doable. The sooner you start investing, the more you will benefit, okay, from the power of compounding and long-term growth. I believe in that. Age is on your side. I keep saying that. Some of us who are older now wish we knew when we were at your age what we now know. And this is why some of us, me, I believe in sharing my experience and sharing what I can find, so that you do not get lost in between. Some of you are at crossroads, we know. But the directions we want to give is, don't learn from our mistakes. and stand straight on yours. Your parents, some of us learned the hard way. I keep sharing with you guys. Some hoping on pensions and that gold watch that is given at the end of the 50-year period of work is no longer there. It is different for you guys now. The world now is your stage. Seize the day, diversify, save as much as you can, and put your money to use. Yes, those trips to the Caribbean and to Maldives and all that, and the expensive wine and outfits, they're okay. I mean, you worked for it, but remember, retirement is also around the corner. Sometimes people will forget that, the years run by. So above all, and in addition to what I have just said, if and when you have made up your mind to invest, please do conduct thorough deep research, develop a robust business plan. Again, you hear Auntie saying that again and again. Seek local partnerships. Again, especially those of you hyphenated who don't understand the politics of the land and even the language, get somebody who you can trust on ground, okay, as a local partner. Monitor this transaction and the business and everything you're doing and adapt to the market trends. Keep on asking yourself what will happen in the next 2 years, 5 years, and all that, because the market and world changes. There are so many things to that. Okay. It is very important to understand the local market. I keep saying again, if you are going to invest in Nigeria, understand the local market and ensure to assess the competition. Who else is doing what you're doing? Nigerians, we all like to go do what everybody else is doing. And this is why I keep hammering, think outside the box. Some of that new innovation, yeah, people follow the crowd. Let become the pathfinder, the person that makes the crazy trail and let others come. But don't jump into the wagon of others because they have done their homework. You did not. You just jumped on the wagon and it may not or go well for you at the end. No. Develop a unique value proposition for yourself that will fit you. And my prayers are that you be blessed in any and all the ventures that you are going to, get into. Again, this will come. Um, we're now coming to the end of this podcast, and I promise to continue to share with you my next phase of um, possible investments that you can make when it comes to Nigeria. I thank you for listening. And I wish you the best as you venture. Keep those questions coming. I have a lot of your questions. We started with this. For the month of May, that's what we're going to do, answer some of those questions that we have discussed. And maybe it will help somebody else. And that's why I started this podcast series. So let me know if you have any more questions on this. Again, I unleash you to go find some more. Go to the internet. Yes, you don't have time. So I've done half of the work for you. Your job now is to go focus on these aspects of the choices in whatever country you are. Other African countries or, hyphenated ones, whether you are from Kenya or, you know, uh, uh, any other country out there, Ghana, go see what is going on in your country. Use this as your map and to get you to ask the best of questions. Thank you. Please subscribe to my channel. Um, give me your feedback. You can give me stars as well. And you can also subscribe on TikTok. I am on Instagram, on Facebook, and also on YouTube. Thanks again and have a wonderful week ahead. This is your hostess, Dr. Maslin and M.OPARAOJI. Goodbye.